In this video, we're going to be looking at Rene Clement's film Purple Noon, which came out in 1960, starring Alain Delon, which is Steve Chambers, my YouTube co-host pick of the day for our French classics. We're Coffee with Aliens at the Movies, a film education and film review channel. I'm Robert Bellissimo. I'm an actor and acting teacher.
I'm Steve Chambers. I'm a writer and actor.
And if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing to the channel by clicking on the subscribe button, which you can find in the description box below. All right, so Steve, why Purple Noon? What is it about this film that is worth discussing today?
Well, you made me pick it. No, Purple Noon is about a guy who envies another guy's life so much to the point that he kills him to take it over, right? But it's a little deeper than that. It's clearly about a psychopath. But just by virtue of how the story's told, it doesn't feel like it's a story about a psychopath, not initially anyway. Because what I found is when you watch a movie where we're telling you, the filmmaker's telling you, this story is about a psychopath, it's kind of more from the victim's point of view, right? Or victims or the people chasing him, whatever, that makes him a quote unquote bad guy. This story is all told from the point of view of our killer. And he's very charming, very cold. Even once he's killed Philippe Greenleaf, he's pretty calm. I mean, there's the physical action of hiding the body and he's, you know, moving through that, but he stops to take a bite of like a piece of fruit in the middle of it because he's got to get his energy. And it reminds me of like just a guy working out. But once that's done, and it's all about forging documents and taking over the identity, he's I don't know if we're saying that he's done this 100 times and we're just tuning in, you know, for us, it's the first time to see this, but he's very smart. His motivation is, on the surface it's for money, but I really think it's about, here's a guy who can't fit in. And this is the one thing he's good at, mimicry and shutting emotions down. And this is almost like a hobby, the way you see him do all this, the way some people take up sailing or golf. This guy takes up murder and then taking over their identity. And it really is, he's such a sad little guy. And he can't accept that. He can't accept who he is.
That does give it more of a motivation as to why he killed him, which is not so obvious. But I think what you're saying is totally justified, and the film really cuts to the heart of the portrait of a killer and how cold and how calculating and how planned and cool and how they can really go on the fly of what is necessary as to what comes up, as if it's another day at the office. You know, we're fortunate that we have the remake to compare it to, and I find the remake is much more of a traditional narrative as opposed to this.
Yes.
Can you talk as to why that is?
Well, the surreality is that we are identifying more with our killer. I think in the Matt Damon, Anthony Minghella remake, it's a little more objective, the point of view, and so everything's a little more immediate. And then it's a thriller, and we're on the hunt. Whereas in Purple Noon, everything is through Alain Delon's eyes. And so his motivations for any of it is a little less clear until the film goes on a little more, and you kind of sit in his skin a little more, and you start to feel why you're doing this. And a lot of the why, again, it isn't the black and white motivation of like money. A lot of the motivation is, I think, insecurity. It's trying to be someone you're not. Here, it's Delon is in love with this man. And I'll touch on a specific scene. There's when they're all on the boat, which is a huge plot point here. But Delon's spying on Philippe and Marge having sex. And I don't think it's to watch her at all. I think it's to watch Philippe and almost to learn from him. And it's a place of envy, not because, oh, he's having sex with the woman I love. No, he's living the life I want. I should be in Marge's place. And I think it's that. And another moment that really stood out to me is where he's sort of combing his hair and parading around the mirror all dolled up and kissing it. And it's really showing his inner life when he's free. But Philippe catches him, and he's wildly embarrassed. And I think that's it. And I think he'd almost kill Philippe because he was caught doing that than for anything else. I wonder if the wheels weren't already in motion.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that, you see, everything you're saying is totally justified. And I think the fact that we could probably talk about the ambiguity of this film all day long, you know, because it's not so obvious. You have to really think about why he's doing what he's doing. It's not as clear in a good way. Whereas the remake, it's so clear. They build the motivation up carefully. It's you know, again, they really are. Not that I don't like it. I really like the remake, but they're really feeding it to you on a silver spoon, you know. And it almost seems like he killed him purely in the moment, like it wasn't even planned. And then he just happened to be smart enough to cover it up. And Matt Damon also seems much more deranged, you know, and it just seems like he happened to be able to get away with this. Whereas I think with Delon, it's so much more calculating, and it's, you know, it makes you wonder, did he plan this before he even met the guy? Or is this the wheels start turning as he was getting to know him and he wants to be him? Because as you touched on, his own insecurities of not wanting to be who he is, you don't really know, right? Because, you know, and Delon is perfect for this part because he's so neutral, he's so cold, and he's perfect for this kind of a character. Whereas I think,
absolutely.
Yeah, Freddy, as he kills Freddy and he's walking him down the stairs, you know, even I'm like, oh shit, someone's coming. Careful, yeah. Oh, good job with put the cigarette in his mouth, and it's so clever, right? And then you're thinking, my God, like I'm, why am I thinking like him? But it's because they put the remake, you are removed from it. You're just you're really like you're a critical eye. Yeah, and you don't really expect it because he seems to be joking with him how he's gonna kill him. He even says, "Oh yeah, I'll do this." Tells him. And it comes out of nowhere. Yeah. And you think, is it because he left him stranded on that boat? You know, because that's when that's when he starts to kind of change. You know, when he leaves clues as to Marge that Philippe's cheating on her, and but again, you see, we can discuss this all day long because he doesn't give you the answers. He doesn't cut to the Rene Clement doesn't cut to the music and the reaction of "I'm going to kill you." Whereas with Damon, you could see it coming. It was building and building. They had that argument on the boat, and then he hits him over the head with the paddle. And it's, again, the classic Hollywood narrative. You can get ahead of it. And you cannot get ahead of this movie. It's really, really well done. The moment I wanted to mention that I wanted to point out, which I found fascinating, Freddy, after he kills Freddy, he's very calm. And then he just looks out the window. He waits, thinks about what to do. There's no dialogue. Then he goes out, gets dinner, comes back and eats chicken.
Yeah, chicken. Yeah, I remember.
It's like, what should I do now? And I thought that was interesting. And this is why I think he possibly was a killer already. Because it really makes you know, and because it really makes you, he is so calm and he's really thinking, what should I do now? As if some little mishap came out at the office and he had to work till midnight. Oh, well, I gotta go get a late night dinner. And if you haven't seen this film, you can watch it on the Criterion channel, as well as Canopy, and our friends at Unobstructed View here in Toronto have it on both Blu-ray and DVD, which you can order from. Well, thanks so much for watching, everyone. If this is your first time here, or if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button, which you'll see in my top right here, floating above my head. Click on our logo, and that will give you instant subscription to our channel. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.